Hello, everyone. It has been said that the human collective consciousness, our souls, are aligning with the Sirian star system during this Lionsgate portal, during this week, and going into the next few weeks. It is said that our souls have a special stopping off point on Sirius, in the star system Sirius, before incarnating on Earth. And at this time, we're being called to that times when we were spent there, those times when our soul came from Sirius. We're going to take a look at that today. Is there a clarion call that the human collective feel during this time, where we feel called to meditate, to reach out, to be super spiritual, to manifest? Let's take a look. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. I am so pleased and excited that you are here today. Hello, Justin. I see that you're in the chat. Shauna, looking pretty cool. Looking forward to this. Yes, I found some unique information about the star systems, even in the Bible. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to share that today. The only thing I'm going to share to begin with is Break the Curse webinar. It will be free for members. You will get a link on 11 a.m. on August 31st. And those of you who wish to sign up, you can go to my website below right here, www.violetflame.net, and sign up there. Also, my private readings and everything else that I do, sign up for my newsletter where you get the links to all of this as well. All right, let's get started. I will share a little bit more what's coming. Stay tuned to the end. We're going to do a tiny mini activation for Lionsgate. And I also have some intel from Simon Parks that I'm going to share concerning things like I can't even say it all. I'll have to preface it, but something about the peace talks coming up in Russia, Ukraine, as well as certain goings on with Mr. O and Mr. E under investigation. So some intel on that. All right. Join me. Grab yourself a cup of water. Greetings, Calamity Jane. Thank you for being here. Today I have lemon water. Grab your cup of water, and I'm going to cleanse the atmosphere. I feel that this is doing a good job keeping things clean because all of our comments are not getting erased. All beings, thought forms, entities, technologies, and artificial intelligences that do not have our highest good or the highest good of all life on earth, and that are not in service to the one true living God, the great I am, the source of all creation, and that are not in service to humanity, and all technology that you use, such as nanodust, smart dust, black goo, tracers, trackers, implants, blockers, algorithms, and all else, not for the good of humanity. We command you to leave this live stream, to leave this channel, to leave our devices, to leave our bodies, our minds, and our energy fields once and for all. Go and never torment again. And we invite the light of Christ to fill every empty space, the energy, the power of Holy Spirit, and the divine love of all that is. We invite truth and clarity into this space with healing and liberty for all. It is so. All right, I want to bring up for everybody here a scene from the Bible. I want to show to you exactly what the different translations say about the stars and the star systems. So here's in Job, which is actually the oldest book in the Bible. And it is written from the days of Enoch, you could say. And I want to share here. Let's go back. Can you see that? Okay. So these are all the different living translations. And they mention the word Orion, the Pleiades. So who makes is talking about God, the power of God. Let's go here to the edge of it. It says here, who makes the bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south? Other references are in Amos. He who made the Pleiades and Orion, and who turns darkness into dawn and darkens day into night, who summons the waters of the sea and pours them over the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. Remember that there's reference to water. Okay, the Pleiades and Orion. Isaiah, lift up your eyes on high. Who created all these? He leads forth the starry host by number. He calls each one by name. And it says he determines the numbers of the stars and calls them all by name. So what I like about this is it's showing how even in the ancient times, now I want to go back to one of the oldest version of the Bible, okay? If you can see at the top of the screen there, which makes Arcturus. So it's been translated in the new versions as the bear, but makes Arcturus, aka Arcturians, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. And we see from the cross references that there are hosts or actual beings, or they're considered angelic beings. They're called hosts, the host of heaven. So I thought that was interesting there. So for all of those who are listening here and say, wait a minute, do star systems really have intelligence? Are they really that important? The oldest book in the Bible, in the days of Enoch, refers to the Arcturians, I think it's the Archer. It's referred to as the bear as well, Orion, and the Pleiades. But today we're going to talk about the star system Sirius. It has been alleged. Hello, Richard. Hello, Marie. We got the crew here today. It has been alleged by Carrie Kay. And this resonates with me, but you all might have different references to the Lion's Gate as well, that the human collective consciousness is aligning during the, August 1st to about August 12th, is aligning to the star system called Sirius. We've often heard it referred to as Sirius A and Sirius B, and we're allowed to hear it scientifically in this way. I'll show you the scientific evidence for it. Now, Carrie Kay, who's looked at it psychically, says that there's a lot more than just two stars. And each little star system is its own type of being. It's like a consciousness. And there's a consciousness of water. And remember that phrase from the Bible. He summons the waters of the sea and pours them over the face of the earth. Talking about the Pleiadians and the Orions and it being connected to what I like to call sky water. Now, she says that the multiple intelligences of these stars have different types of frequencies. And one of them is like a water being. And it's like a liquid crystal, she says, and you can fly in it and float in it. And many of our dreams that we have while flying or floating in water is because our soul has been there. It could be a reference to Lemuria, a past time of Earth, but it could also be our travel point through Sirius. She says that there's other types of intelligences and lands where our souls resided on Sirius. But get this. She says the mystery schools in the astral realm, not the mystery schools on Earth, the mystery schools in the astral realm where you learn certain gifts as a soul and you bring them to Earth. The mystery schools are in Sirius, in those star systems, okay? And Earth is aligning to the Stargate portal that jumps to those star systems. Before many of us as light workers, star seeds, and advanced souls, old souls, came to Earth, we needed to be prepped so that we could still keep ascending on the Earth and not get caught in the dark matrix. We needed vibrational frequencies embedded in our soul's DNA so that we could wake up when it was time to wake up. So what our souls did is we stopped off at these mystery schools in the Sirius star system. And some of us went more toward the watery, I keep wanting to say planet, okay? The watery intelligence, the watery realm, okay? Some of us went more toward the land. Some of us went more toward flying. But we learned key traits that would waken us in those mystery schools when we came down on Earth. So we were learning things and prepping for our incarnations on Earth. And it was like a pit stop, a stopping off point that we stayed at in Sirius. So many of the light workers on Earth, as we align during the August 8th portal, we feel the energy of our school. We feel the energy of where we once stayed and studied as on an astral level. And she says it's like a clarion call where we just feel a call to level up. We feel a call to connect to home. We feel a call to manifest the next steps of our life. We feel a call just to connect to spirituality, to light our candles and to be woo-woo. Is because we're aligning with that mystery school vibration before we came to Earth. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share it with you. Tell me how it resonates. Tell me what else you've heard about the Lionsgate portal. We're going to do some card pulls about what is the significance of Lionsgate. Are we indeed lining with that star system? What is this clarion call? And what does this mean for humanity? And any other questions that you have. Before we get started in the card pulls, next Sunday, I think I'm going to do a timeline collapse. There's a lot collapsing in our world. So this coming Sunday on the public live. On the private live, we're going to do financial predictions. And I have intel from Simon Parks. Intel about the tariffs. Intel about a certain little tip Mr. T is telling people when he goes to their country and is offering them these trade deals, and it's not being talked about by the truther commentators because it's very little known. It has to do with Nasara and Jasara. It appears that Nasara and Jasara is getting ready to accelerate, and I have some information about how that's going to happen with the military and the next steps that the government's taking. But we're putting that in the financial predictions in the private membership. So go ahead and let me share that. Join the private membership right there. Now, some of the other things that I wanted to share is stay tuned to the end because we're going to do a little Lionsgate activation. And I have some intel about medbeds. I have intel about the Mr. O and the Mr. E files going on. And then a little bit about how possibly the actors are going to be taken off the scenes. That's just for those of you who like politics. So stay tuned to the end. We're not going to try to go too late. All right. And of course, Break the Curse webinar. Find everything on my website on the link below. All right, so go ahead and start putting your questions in. I'm going to start off with my questions because they're a little bit more general at first, and I just want to tap into the energy. The first one is it's a very simple question, okay? What is the significance of this Lionsgate portal? I have been told that there's not a lot of significance in the astrology and the stars during that exact day. But it's a time when the massiveness of consciousness is being called up higher. That's what I've been told. And when all of humanity gets together to do something, when all the light workers get together to manifest, it's going to by itself be powerful. But is there any other significance, or what is the primary significance of Lionsgate? You know that phrase, we're all doing this together. We're in this together. Together in light we rise. It's truly a time when all the hearts of the light workers and the people of light become the strongest. Powerful. Okay, we have some cards flipping out, and I'm going to do a full spread here. But some of the things that I'm seeing already is some massive cycle changes. We have the Magician card. We have the World card. Woo, I feel drawn to pull this. Okay, these are the cards that fell out. The Fool card, a portal. We are definitely aligning with a Stargate. Let me take this down. There we go. We are definitely aligning with the Stargate. There we go. The Stargate, the portal, the jumping off point. She's hearing a call from the stars. Notice the zodiac wheel around her. So Spirit's saying this, and it's not just one star system, it's multiple star systems. Okay, and there's also a tremendous ending of a cycle. A brand new beginning. I'm hearing the words, an opportunity to jump ship and an opportunity to be thrown a life vest. I'm seeing like jumping ship, but then grabbing the lifeboat of an even bigger ship. That's the analogy coming in. We also had the card of leaving something behind, which is the card of ending cycles. It's a time when I think things are going to be left behind. And that goes to that timeline collapse that I'm feeling like doing a reading on next Sunday for the public live. Something is leaving our life, and it's an opportunity for it to go smoothly, for it to go with love, and for it to simply be I'm done with this ship. I need to get onto a better ship. I need to change my direction. For the card pull, we have tremendous magician energy of alchemy. I'm seeing cosmic beings giving us a lot of support. This could even be the energy of the planets, the energy of higher consciousness coming to Earth. I see it like a portal, like a hand reaching through this portal. I see a hand reaching through a portal to assist humanity to ascend. This is an opportunity to take things to the next level, to be raised in higher consciousness, and to actually make the changes we've been wanting to make. This is a quantum leaping moment. This is a powerful timeline shift. I don't have any timeline cards here. I'm seeing a hand coming in to help us. We have tremendous energy coming to Earth at this time. Sun energy. Okay, this is interesting. Now, this is the state of our DNA, or the state of our physical 3D consciousness. We have the lack card, the card of being out in the cold, and the card of being hindered or kept suppressed, the card of being dormant, the card of something that's unactivated, hurt, lacking. So this has anything to do with our physical resources, our physical DNA, this isn't even mind or energy. This is physicality. Anything in the physical realm that's being hindered or suppressed is going to receive a boost of energy right here in the center. Energy coming to that which is dormant, to that which is lacking in your life, to that which needs activation. This is tremendous DNA activation, Queen of Pentacles. This is your mother DNA. This is the mother from your ancestors, from your history, from your true soul's essence. Shauna says, when you say jumping ship, does that mean that some people are going to be passing over to the other side? I'm seeing some people are being left behind. So take that as it resonates. I'm seeing like an individual person of light saying, I want to go to my next steps. I want to go to my next steps. I want to up level. I want to manifest a life. I want to be the true soul God created me to be. And I just see him jumping into the water. And so that ship is kind of like the old timeline. So I'm seeing it more like people are being left behind. That's for sure. That's for sure. But we can definitely ask about, will there be a little bit more passing away? We'll put that in the question here. I want to go to the next question while we're still on the realm of this portal, the Stargate, this energetic hand coming to assist us. Are we indeed aligning with the stars, the star system Sirius, one particular star, or is it just the stars in general? One particular Stargate, or just, oh, look. First card, the Star card. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's interesting because I am seeing Sirius when I saw that card. I did see that system. It's an elevated star system. I believe it's more rare. It's not easily accessed by the Earth like maybe the planets are that surround us. This is definitely a little bit more of a once of a year alignment. So I would say yes, it's aligning with a group of stars like I saw in the first poll. It's a group of stars. They've been protected and not easily accessed. But then we're getting spiritual gifts, spiritual access. The high priestess is giving me the message of Only those spiritually awakening can hear this call, can hear this frequency, can connect to the Stargate. Only those who are tuning in. And it's not anything you hear with your physical eyes or your ears or your, anything physical. It's just a spiritual fascination with Lionsgate Portal, a spiritual fascination or an increased fascination. If you have an increased fascination with anything spiritual during this time, or anything cosmic, or you just feeling sort of weird and off, it's probably because you have actually been tuned to the star system, and it's a very familiar but a very rare frequency. So it's like it's familiar but not familiar. It's familiar, but you've only maybe felt it once or twice in your lifetime, or you maybe only feel it once a year. And one more card, the future. Okay, this is the sleep card. Many of you will be traveling to Sirius and probably have been traveling home to your star systems or to this star system during your sleep. Astral travel, spiritual travel. With the High Priestess card, the sleep card, and the star card, I'm hearing the words, you've been going home, baby. You've been going home. All the gates are open. Absolutely. Absolutely. The gates, especially to Sirius star system, it's a very unique energy. A very unique energy. Is there a clarion call being sent to Earth for a specific reason? Or is it just something we feel on our bones? Like, is there a message? Is there a purpose? Is there a reason this is coming? Or is it just a result of our consciousness aligning with the Stargate? I'm seeing the North Pole. I don't know why I'm seeing the North Pole. Okay, I'm getting the Youth card and the Justice card, which is coming through karmic patterns. I'm seeing the Victory card and the Strength card. Spirit, is this a specific message? It is. Okay, wow. And I'm hearing these words. Many of you have set an intention to clear all things that have been holding you back, all energetic curses, all energetic stuck energy, everything that's been energetically hindering your DNA. You have actually set an intention, a desire that's been heard. Okay, and much of humanity are desiring to be released from some of their toxicity, toxic generational, just the muck of having reincarnated over and over in a 3D matrix. That muck, there's a desire, and especially childhood trauma and things that we chose to go through to end that trauma as a child, but it stayed stuck. We're getting the victory over it. So this helping hand coming through the portal, and as we travel through the astral realm and connect with this Sirian star system, we're actually receiving tremendous energy to cleanse our DNA, to cleanse anything that's been egoic and toxic, just egoic and toxic. And I have something in my eye, which is letting me know not being able to see things clearly. So some of you might get realizations of things that you realize, oh, I did this because of this, and this is that, and I went through this when I was a child, and I went through this now, and this is why I feel. So you might start connecting the dots and finding healing there. New perspective, you could say, which is going to bring healing to your soul and help you to understand why you went through it. Okay. The significance. What does this mean for humanity? But is there a clarion call? I know that there's a message. Is there anything else that this alignment is doing for the light worker? Anything else here? Oh, we got the Devil card. We got the cord the cord cutting card, that slash, you know what I mean? The Knight of Swords. We've got that which has kept you in a cage, and the Knight of Wands, the spiritual king of your reality and the king of your energy field. So we're receiving help during this Lionsgate portal. I'm sure each one comes with a unique message to actually cut cords from anything that is holding us back. And I know that's the same message I've been getting every single time. This is the Matrix. I think the Matrix is in big trouble. We saw that because Mr. T sent Mr. Z and Mr. P across, the world to tell them they needed to start doing peace talks, and they had 50 days to do it. We had the Schumann resonance spike on August 2nd and 3rd. We had that timeline glitch, and all of a sudden, the time is different, but all of a sudden, Mr. T says you have to the end of the week. And I have intel on that as well. I'll share that at the end of the video. But yeah, you have to the end of the week to settle this. That's telling me the energies of the universe are really starting to cut and to poke at anything that's matrixy, that's egoic, that I want to aggrandize myself and I want to be the big bully on the block. That's being cut away. It's being cut away. It's time we get our act together as a world. One more question, and then I want to ask about the passing of souls. How will the world, not starseeds, light workers, and people of light awakening, but how will the rest of humanity and the world structures be affected by the Lionsgate portal? Ooh, okay. Energy, bright, intense light coming to conflicts. And I'm seeing arguments, something as simple as an argument. I'm actually seeing right now a husband and wife having an argument in the kitchen. I'm seeing energy coming to settle it, energy coming to bring peace or to end it completely and cause whatever needs to happen for the best and highest good. I'm also seeing here worldwide structures and conflicts, corporations, legal battles, and I'm also seeing the war in, you know what? I am seeing conflicts. I'm seeing the Middle East. I'm seeing everything that is major to everything that's in your kitchen, at your kitchen table. All conflicts are going to be affected by some sort of energy. Where is this energy coming from? We're getting that Ace of Wands up a lot. Where is this energy coming from? We're getting the Earth, and we're getting Page of Pentacles. So this is basically like, the Page of Pentacles is like opportunities or bursts, but they're not the full thing. The Ace of Pentacles is the full thing. Where is this energy coming from that's going to challenge conflict? Egoic conflict. Earth meditation. Wow. Okay. So what is affecting the conflict on this earth plane is all the meditations humanity does. Meditation, manifestation, and earth. Okay. Earth is actually, it's like humanity, every light worker gets turned on, ping, with light. And that goes throughout the whole world and sends that light into the darkest place. It's like lighting a candle, which time burns so fast after this, during this portal. My candles just go so fast lately. It's like you light a candle in a dark place and the cockroaches flee. And when all these light workers all across the world turns on their light, Ace of Wands, it's not coming just from higher consciousness. It's coming from your consciousness. It's coming from your connection to your awakening DNA. Humanity is, the light workers, the humanity of light workers is challenging the wars, challenging conflict. I'm seeing even transferring activities. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. My big glass of water there. Any transferring things, the work that we do, just spending time in nature, doing our little meditations of light, manifesting our reality, doing our meditations online, it's sending energy to bring world peace. World peace. The Lionsgate portal is manifesting world peace. It has nothing to do with Sirius star system. It has everything to do with we stopped there and now we're here. And that's how effing powerful we are. Wow. Ooh, I did not expect that, you all. Just us getting together on a massive collective scale, doing our little meditations, thinking about Lionsgate Portal all at the same time in this week. It is literally affecting world peace. Wow. And I'm seeing things scurrying underground. I'm seeing types of creatures, you take it as resonates, going underground because our light is so strong. Okay, so let's ask the question now, and feel free to bring in any other questions that you have. And if we're not, we're going to go to a small little activation that Carrie taught me, and I added it into. It's just like 2-3 minutes. I thought it would be fun. And again, we're going to manifest world peace through it just by being us. And then stay tuned. I have some intel about some of the more political things that I got from Simon Parks. If you are interested in the Break the Curse webinar, the activation that I do here at the end is a little bit like what I will do on August 31st. It's simple. All you need is yourself. Oh, yes, yes. And I'm feeling led. To do something here. One more question, though. Spirit, is this going to affect people passing on to the other side, choosing another timeline? Can you speak to us there? We're getting the King of Wands, and that's the mature light worker, the mature or the person who has awakened their energy field to connect to light, with light, that's bonded with light. So I think the Lionsgate portal is more for you than it is for those who are unawakened. Spirit, what can you tell us about people passing over, choosing this as a choice point? Okay, so we're getting the card a little bit of the no. I'm not getting a passing over, and I'm definitely not getting any death. But what I am getting is the Queen of Wands connected to the Five of Pentacles dormant DNA. So it will be an opportunity for those who need a little bit more boost to awaken, for them to awaken. It's going to be like, the fire's big. It's time to light your candle. And everybody comes around the fire and lights their candle. Like, the flame's big, light your candle. Or, the fire's big, let's, look around the room. Whatever you can use. The fire's big, it's time to cook the steak. Whatever it is, it's like the most energy is there, and it's going to be easy for other people to awaken. We have that portal again. We have the travel. I hear the words time travel. And I'm getting a no, that it's not going to be necessarily easier for people to pass. That is more so, I'm trying to feel when it's time for people to pass. And to be honest, I'm really getting that those days are over. It was much easier to pass in the last few years than it is to just pass now. Like, the choice point is getting smaller and smaller. Like, you have to really want to go yourself to go. It's not like, there's an accident that happens and it's time for me to go. It's like they have to really, really want to go. So there will be no accidental passings away. There will be no more like accidents there, but there will be an opportunity to activate DNA. There is some sort of travel coming here. I think a lot of people might be called to travel, to connect to their family, to connect home. So the people who might not know what they're doing might tend to, hey, can you come over for dinner this Sunday? Hey, you want to get together, for pizza Friday night? They might want to be with their family more. They might feel more nostalgic. Okay. So I want to invite you at this time to, if you want to get a piece of paper, you can, or you can just sit there and imagine it. But this was calling your soul back to you. And they asked Carrie Kay on the interview. You can find this on I think you can find it on carriekay.com, or you can find it on her YouTube, Carrie Kay. And it's Kerryk. That's how you spell it. She says, they asked her, if you could do one thing during this Lionsgate portal, what would you tell people to do? And she said, breathe. Breathe in the light. And when you breathe out, drop into your heart or feel the energy. Bring your awareness to your heart. And she says, use the phrase, because they were talking about a phrase, this is me. And when you say, this is me, you just feel your body, she says. Because when you feel into your body, you're feeling your DNA. And your DNA is connected to your soul. And your soul is connected to your home. And so it's like a feeling of coming home. And it's not going to be in your head. It's not going to be what you say. You can just breathe in. This is me. And that comes with a very, very beautiful sense that you're different than the reality that surrounds you. Now, what I like to do, and what I learned from Gay Hendricks, is I actually, I adapted it a little bit. I draw a timeline, okay? Sort of like this. And then I put birth on one side, and I put now on the other. And this is something similar we're going to do. This is helping, but it's going to be different in the webinar that we do next, August 31st. You put birth and you put now, okay? You put it down, and you can actually touch it, okay? This is then. And you want to picture this as if it's your lifetime, okay? Almost like you're on the star Sirius viewing your lifetime, your birth till now. You don't need to see an image. It's just like a mental awareness. Your consciousness will do the rest, right? Your soul knows what to do. It's just a reference to be like, if I was in my soul on Sirius, getting ready to Earth, getting ready to Earth. I wonder if that's what they call it. Getting ready to Earth, getting ready to incarnate on Earth. And they see their life in the timelines that we choose, right? You choose what major events are going to happen, can choose who our spirit guides are, get to choose, what we must encounter, what we can kind of choose when we're down there. I have to meet this soulmate, and I have to go to this school because there's so many opportunities that are going to open up and put me on my timeline. But where I grow up isn't that important, as long as I get to the call, those kind of decisions, So you kind of like viewing your timeline, and that's you, the reality that you lived right now. But we're so much bigger than this. So I like to put this down. I like to point to it and touch it. Say, this is then. This is then. This was then. Meaning it's your lifetime. This is me. Touch your heart. Point to your heart. Do an actual physical touch. Because when you touch, it helps bring your awareness to your DNA. It helps bring your conscious awareness into your body, which is where you connect to the sun, where you connect to Mother Earth, and where you connect to the DNA that was in the Sirius star system. And they say do it 10 times. So if you want to join me with this, join me. If not, stay tuned. We'll get to the intel here. But this is just an opportunity for us to anchor and to call our soul from all the points of trauma that happened on this lifetime. You can even imagine it like light coming into you. That was then. This is me. And feel your body. That was then. Everything that happened in this lifetime up till now. This is me. And you feel your body. So we're going to do that 10 times. And it's going to anchor you into your current reality, into the 5D timeline, and into the Lionsgate portal. All right, we're going to do this 10 times. All right, so bear with me. This was then. This is me. This was then. This is me. This was then. This is me. Breathe and feel yourself. This was then. This is me. Feel the Sirian frequencies. This was then. This is me. Say it like you are important. 5 more. This was then. This is me. This was then. This is me. You are so important to the mechanics of light. 3 more. This was then. This is me. Awakening the DNA of your soul. 2 more. This was then. This is me. This was then. This is me. And you don't have to feel anything special. All you need to do is feel you. The DNA, she says, feeling your own self is the most important thing you can do. It's connecting to who you are on a soul level, and your consciousness does the rest. All right, so there's a little bit of woo-woo for us all. Okay, some intel. All right, and I have to be very careful about how I go about this political intel, because there was another truther that was suspended for something he said and on YouTube. And so I want to be very careful. So I will try to explain the words as best as possible. And again, on the financial update, go ahead and join that. If you're interested, I will give more cryptic financial information. I felt like it was a tennis match. I hope that was good. It could be parts of, I know that he said, Gay Hendricks says, when you do things like that, you're actually calling your soul back to you. You're calling yourself away from everything that where you had put your energy in the past and bringing it back to you. And sometimes you can feel a little wonky. I did this once with my trauma and a word curse that I'm going to do, and it was pretty powerful. But it gave me freedom to be able to think about it without being angry at my father anymore. So yeah, it was definitely a little wonky there. All right, so this, I hope, Calamity Jane, I'm allowed to share this with people, but it's actually public. It's on Rumble. You can find it on Simon Parks. And please sign up to connectingconsciousness.org. Get connected to People of Light there. He has amazing, amazing information. He recently put out a video that talked about several of the questions people have with why did we have a sliding of information away from the e-files. You know what I'm talking about, the EPS, the EPS ending in "ing." Okay, the e-files to going to Mr. O, ending in O, bomb, okay. So why did we, and why are they trying to bring Mr. O into investigation for collusion? Okay, you know what's going on with the Russia. That's just what we're going to call it. And why is he not being charged with other things? One of the things he said is that there was and I'm using a code word, an appassination, okay? Appassination attempt, passing away attempt of the elect Mr. T in December of 2024. Now, they cannot go after some of these big time, investigations without revealing either ongoing investigations or how they received that information. It would compromise certain systems or certain ongoing investigations. And he says, but that appassination attempt, okay, was so intense, and it was on a Mr. T, an elect, a president-elect. He wasn't in office yet, but he was elect. It was so intense that they actually collected every evidence they could and want to take it down, that group down, okay? The group that did these attempts down. But the way they're taking down those, those who are ordering the attempts is they have to go with information that they can actually take in a court of law and actually go through the actual process. And they have a lot of information on the Russia gate, okay? Whatever it's called. They have a lot of information on that, and they feel that is one of the quickest ways to take it down and to take everything down. All right. And then the question was answered, how do you take an actor out? It is alleged that Mr. O has actually been passed away. Let's just call it that. Mr. O was actually passed away in about 2021, or was it 2019? He actually was investigated. He was brought to justice and he was passed away. However, they put up an actor or a clone to keep his life going. And they asked him, how do they plan to do this to an actor? And he said, more than likely, the actor will commit the sue word while in custody. Suicide. Okay, Sue's side. They will probably have the actor or alleged story coming out of the person committing the sue word while in prison. And then the person will be taken out, will be given plastic surgery, constructive plastic surgery, and either exiled or put under witness protection, put somewhere away. And as long as he or she lives their life in that place, they will be fine. So this is how they get rid of the actors that they've been paying. Okay, this isn't the actual people. However, I do have a suspicion, and this isn't in the intel, this is me, that maybe this is what happened with Mr. E. A story of a Sue passing away, and then maybe there's a plastic surgery going on and he's somewhere else. But this is the deal they make with actors and political prisoners who need an escape. Take it as it resonates. Marie says, I've heard Mr. O left the Earth plane last November. So that would have been November 2024. Exactly. I definitely feel that he's been in custody. And I do feel that some of these real people are being kicked off the Earth plane. Pardon the way I said that. The second thing is he is predicting that the peace talks this week, and I saw that timeline shift. I mentioned that timeline shift of where Mr. T gave P and Z, the leaders across this world, that are having that conflict, gave them 50 days to get their crap together and start the peace talks. He gave them to the end of this week. Lionsgate portal? Whoa. Okay. And Mr. Simon he says, I don't usually do this, but I do feel that the peace talks will start this week. And I did a reading last night about something about Ukraine, and not right reading, on my last live. And it said that whatever starts now, the conflict will not be resumed. And I have been feeling in my soul, don't ask me how I know, and I felt this since June, that August and September, the end of the war over there in that country is going to be ended. So let's manifest that. The fact that we at Lionsgate are manifesting world peace is powerful. It was before that we see number 2 or 3 for a couple of years. So maybe Mr. O left a couple years ago, but 2 or 3 passed away last November, which makes sense of why they need to get Mr. O out of the way, because his actors and clones are dying off. Mr. B's actors and clones were falling on the stairway, and so they needed some help there. Okay, med beds. Med beds are very real. They're one of the top secret, most kept technologies. But they're doing something very different with the med beds, which is going into the new world type of energy. I believe that the quantum computers will be reading the frequencies of different people, and these will be people who cannot be corrupted. Their souls are pure. Somehow, there's some sort of quantum energy that's going to identify people whose souls are pure. That if they were handed $1 million, they would say, absolutely not. I need to stay true to what I came to do. So these people are being identified across the world. They're being called paymasters in some areas, but in other areas, they're just called uncorrupted souls, uncorrupted people. They're going to be chosen to actually handle the med beds and to run the med beds. So this is getting into the 5D type way of doing things, where councils are ruling our nations and where high frequency beings, humans, are going to be in charge of money or key social factors, key social organizations. And that's what's happening with the med beds. The med beds and the money to run them and to run the little organizations, they're going to try to put one in every state and in every province of every country of the world. That's originally what they've tried to do. But they might start off a little bit smaller than that. The paymasters, or these high vibrational people identified by quantum energy, are actually going to have charge of the funds and have charge of the med beds. They don't necessarily need to know how it works. There's going to be people working and hired who know the technology. The technology will be taught by the military, but the paymasters, or the people in charge, are just high vibrational people who cannot be corrupted, and they will actually oversee all the medbed organizations, the facilities, and the funding for that. And then the military is going to turn this organization over. There will be no governments involved. There will be no big tech involved. There will be no big lead corporations involved, no presidents involved, nothing else involved except these high vibrational people. If this is not moving toward a golden age, whoo! Calamity Jane says, Ishmael Perez says that we will eventually have councils instead of government. And that makes me think of like the Indians, the native Indians that used to, have their councils and their peace talks. And not one specific leader could rule, but they had to have a council of all the ancient wise ones. And the medicine man would get in the circle, and the medicine woman and the old grandmothers, and they would be key people who would prove themselves for the good of the tribe that would be in this council. And that's the only way. Yeah, that's what it's making me think of, is having a council. The mystics were in the council. The warrior leaders were in the council. The tribal leaders are in the council. Yeah, so I think that's very interesting about the med beds. I think that the councils is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I want to tell you a story about a vision. What's her name? Gigi Young saw when she was doing a deep dive. She's a mystic. She was doing a deep dive into what our Earth looks like 70 years from now. This was about 10 years ago. Calamity Jane says the galactics have councils. That's right. They do, don't they? The Council of Light. The Ascended Masters have councils. Yeah, it's like when you get higher into 5D, you have councils, not just leaders. Interesting. She did a look-see into the Earth 70 years from now. She saw a bifabricated Earth. I don't know how to say that actually. Like, she saw like the Earth had been separated into much more geographical situations, okay? Much more geographical locations of light and then intense tech. So I'm just sharing what she saw, okay? She could be seeing two worlds and, dipping into two worlds, but she saw the Earth like separated, and there was large geographical regions that had the people of light. She saw councils, and she saw councils of spiritual people who were awake and aware. They were mystics. They could see people's souls. They could see destinies, connected to the stars. They could see, ahead. And there were councils there. And the Earth was very beautiful, she said. A lot of agriculture, a lot of living in nature, and a lot of land. That they were very safe, but they had a lot of land. She says the other world, or the other parts of the world, were very techy. And she says she saw like this she saw these gaming rooms where the children in these cities, I'm thinking that there were a matrix, but okay, they would hook up these children, especially young teenage boys, and they would hook them up to machines, and they would connect their brains to the machines, and the boys would then play video games with their minds, and the technology would have their soul trapped in it, and they would literally play games like 8 hours a day, trapped. She said what she saw was on the 5D light side of the world, whether it's two worlds or what it was just her vision. In the 5D world, she saw the mystics and the councils getting pings. There's a soul over there that's a high vibrational starseed, and he's trapped in the matrix. And seeing mystics and spiritual people identifying souls trapped in that matrix. Whew. And then she says there was actually within the 5D realm, like military men. I don't know what that means, but there was like good military, like white hat military. And they would actually go to that other realm and do operations and missions, break through the technology, rip them, free them, separate the body from that machine, bring it back to the 5D world. And then they would have to do some sort of soul alchemy to heal and do tremendous like healing work and med beds and just bringing the soul back to the body because it was so damaged. Anyway, that shook me because she said that look-see was 70 years from now. Yeah, I have a feeling it's those two worlds. And what some people are saying, we as the people of light live in beautiful realities. It's like heaven on earth. We have our sheep and our goats and our ducks and our chickens, and we have our mystical experiences, and we get to choose when we leave and when we come back. We get to see our soul's history, and we get to, teleport. But then we also use these gifts to rescue people from whatever that thing was, whatever that matrix was. Yes, Shauna. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it was just a vision somebody saw of the two worlds 70 years from now on Earth. One being very beautiful and mystic and spiritual and back to nature, and the other world being the bodies interconnected with machines that were so great they needed to be rescued. It's like, wow. I firmly believe that we're going to be warriors and active people of light in the 5D realm. We're going to be spiritually supporting each other. We're going to be very strong mentally, very strong emotionally, very strong physically, whatever that looks like. Okay, so that is my intel for today. I do have some more. I don't want to keep you all, though, but I'm going to definitely be sharing this in the financial live. Let's just see if I can get a juicy tidbit. If you need to go, that is perfectly fine. Okay, a juicy tidbit. Okay, just saw while we're on the new world, I'll give you this. So I have some about the tariffs, eliminating debt and all that stuff, and what countries are working with Mr. T, what countries are working, what countries are not. We'll look at the financial predictions live. But I have a very interesting question that they brought up to him. They said, why is Mr. T trying to activate spending, like national spending within nations to strengthen the military? Why is he trying to get them go from 2% funding to 5% funding? I thought we were supposed to step down the militaries. I thought we were supposed to go into world peace. Why is he trying to activate these countries to separate special spending to strengthen their military? Shauna says, we love this. Shauna says, I wonder how things will be in 10 to 20 years. I think this is going to be epic. From the last 6 months, it's going to be epic. Before I get to that, I want to read Richard's question. Let me put this out. A super soldier talked of that freeing the trapped soul by telling them they were trapped. And then it was a clone of the original freeing his trapped avatar. Wow. So a super soldier once talked about freeing a trapped soul by telling them you were trapped. And then that was a clone of the original freeing. It was like a clone of the original freeing his trapped avatar. That makes sense because this would be the soul, like, coming to the avatar and bringing everything back online, like what we were doing. That was then. This is now. Drawing them back into their body or back to their soul's energy field. So interesting how the soul works. Okay, why is Mr. T trying to get nations to fund their military if we're supposed to be standing down? All across the world, he's saying peace, 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 for the most part. But this is what he said. He says, yes, Nasara and Jasara will need all militaries to make an agreement to stand down and have no WAR. He feels that this is a timeline shift of Mr. T increasing the peace talks across the world just this month. We're going to see a lot of peace talks increased. That's a part of Nasara and Jasara being ready to flip the script, being ready to release the funds. And I'll talk a little bit about that with national debt. But he says, is he asking the militaries to get strengthened at this time? He says all militaries will make a peace agreement of no war. These are my notes. But a strong army, independent of the government, will have a much stronger effect on that government. So he says, number one, if you can get a strong military that's connected to the White Hats, to Nasara, to Jasara, to those even high vibrational councils, those high vibrational leaders, and you have a strong military, it will be very difficult for the government to reverse back to a matrix government because there will be strong white hat military presences holding governments accountable. No more corruption, okay? Number one, it will hold it's like a check and a balance within the government. Number two, it will divert proper funds. He says whenever they take the funds from the government and put it into the military, it's less funds for the government to play with and to corrupt things with. He says, and they want the money out of the hands of the governments of this world at this time. Okay? Because there's still ego. There's still these leaders that would totally get blackmailed, would totally cave. They're not high vibrational leaders that are authentically, no, you cannot corrupt me. They're not. The leaders across this world are very egoic. And so this is like a stepping off point of Trump or the White Hats using Mr. T, using this to divert the funds into the military. Because a lot of the militaries are more in line with the White Hats than the governments are. So it's sort of like a check and a balance. He also said, when you look at the way the governments of the world, the CABAL, okay, the deep state, have run the governments of the world, he says oftentimes what they do is they take out a legitimate government and put in a false one. Why? Because they have a weak military in that country. Excuse me, my cat is looking for food. Jemmy, come on down. He's not listening to me. I know you're hungry. Give me 5 more minutes. If you hear a crash, it's because he's tipping over his food container. Okay, there we go. So these governments of the world have been actually stripped of their rights many times because they had weak militaries that could not defend against a coup. And so one of the things that Mr. T or the White Hats are doing is strengthening the military so that a coup cannot come in and do fraudulent, the time when you go and you VOTE, fraudulent ease. They can't do governmental coups. They can't do governmental takedowns. They can't do riots. They can't do illegitimate protests. They can't do all of this. Okay, let's collapse, the government here and put on our regime. It's been happening all over the world. And Mr. T and the White Hats especially, have observed how the good governments of this world have collapsed due to coups, due to protests, riots, intergovernmental just corruption. And the military was not strong enough to defeat it. And so that is what the White Hats are doing. They're strengthening the militaries right now to be a deterrent from any governmental coups any regime changes, any T groups going in, any Antifa groups going in, any kind of rioting, fascism, communist takeover. And it's sort of like a step between the step. It doesn't sound to be so close. Lots of warring still. I agree. Shauna says, I don't understand. To the super soldier? Richard says, this super soldier was very human, but he had been like a test tube baby. He found his origins, and he found his origins as a trapped avatar that was like in a matrix. And it freed him to return to source and gave him permission to pick up another body. So what I believe Richard is referring to is what we were learned in deliverance ministry is soul fragmentation. And so whenever a soul, it's like a piece of your consciousness can be harvested and then inserted into a body, and that would be a test tube baby. Not every baby, but these manipulated super soldiers. And so not every test tube baby either, okay? Not every baby, but it's some sort of playing of God consciousness. And they take a piece of someone's soul and they use that piece as the light to activate the human. But it's only slight consciousness. An example of this would be a mentally ill person that we say they're not all there. And so how we would heal mental illness in the deliverance ministry is we say, I call all parts of your soul back to you. And we'd actually call all parts of our soul because that connects them back into their body. And I sometimes even have the person say, I call all parts of my soul back to me. I've had to call parts of my soul back from trauma, back from word curses. And we're going to do that in the webinar. We call all parts of our soul back to us. That's been lingering in other universes, other timelines, other moments of reality. It's like it just stays stuck there. A piece of you stays stuck there. Only this isn't just soul fragmentation. This was created by the super soldiers. Richard could probably answer that. A super soldier was basically, a super soldier is basically lit up by some organic kind of soul light, but most of it is cloned or manufactured. And I believe the N from Germany, those N people that escaped to Argentina and Antarctica, those N people did a lot of research, that science research in Antarctica, where they actually buffed up the body and they DNA'd the physical side of the body, but then they only made pieces of the soul stick in the brain or pieces of the energy field, and so they could separate it. And they would have chips in the brain, they would have chips in the body, and they were super big. Watch the movie Halo. Watch the Disney show Halo. Super soldiers, they have chips. And once they take the chips out, they actually start becoming human and start feeling more and start being activated in their human consciousness, and they begin making decisions for themselves. But when they're chipped, and they're huge, okay, they have like huge armor and huge bodies, but when they're chipped, they don't think for themselves. Maybe Richard could share more on that. Calamity Jane says 20 and back program. Interesting. Jaco was a SEAL. He has a history. He is a super soldier. And James Rink. Jaco was a SEAL. James Rink was SS. And this is what James Rink did. It's his story. Interesting. So Jaco has done out of this world missions. And he is talking about that. Out of this world missions. Yeah, it's like a piece of their soul being in some sort of super body. But then they don't always, it's like they can also take out the memory too. Okay, thank you. I don't know much about it, Calamity Jane, but I'm trying to remember what I did and when I did my deep dives of learning. I used to love Secret Soldier stuff. It's so creepy. Okay, perfect. Out of this world missions. Yeah, many people think that the super soldiers can also be teleported much easier. because their DNA is different, and so they can be teleported to other realities and fight or do missions there. They also can be they soup up their DNA to be able to fight off-world beings, like weird astral beings. But they don't have the consciousness trauma of like, oh, what's that? It's something ugly with 8 legs. They don't have the human component because they just have a piece of their own consciousness. And again, it's just enough to keep them alive. It's living light. Otherwise, they would need electricity or a robot. But this is, yeah. Now, the book of Revelation talks about a time, and it's in the end times. The book of Revelation in the Bible talks about the end times, and it calls it the age of men and the age of iron, the age of clay and the age of iron. And many people refer to clay, the scholars say clay refers to human DNA because they say we're made of the dirt, we're made of earth, Mother Earth, we're clay. God formed man out of the dust of the ground. We're clay, we're DNA from the earth. And it's the age where iron mixes with clay. Okay, so we had the golden age, which was the age of Babylon and gold. We had the silver age, which was Persia. We had the age of bronze, which was Rome. No, we had the age of Greece, which was Bronze Age, brass, and it gets lesser and lesser quality. It's all precious metals, okay? Then the Roman age becomes the age of iron, okay? The last Roman age that we had ruling the world. Then the next age after is called the age of iron mixed with clay. And I'm wondering if it's this merging of weird DNA playing where we actually have shapeshifters in DNA, those weird beings that I can't mention here that start with R and then alien, those lizard, we have these shapeshifters that mix with DNA. We have super soldiers that mix with human consciousness. We have the ability to fragment our soul into AI, where our consciousness kind of can get trapped there and people become dumbed down on pharmaceuticals, video games, and we actually leave pieces of our soul in different areas. The age of iron and clay, no one's really explained it too. In Bible school, no one knew what that meant. But every time I learn about AI and the super soldier, I'm like, the age of iron and clay. They don't fight battles here, but off-world. Exactly. All right, so I have a little bit more, but it's more financial. So we'll do that this Sunday in the financial live. We're going to be doing financial predictions, gold, silver, crypto, and of course the tariffs and this information on what countries, how they're working, and a little known tip about something about national debts. We're also going to be doing, for the public live, global shift forecast. I think I want to do timeline collapse, but I have a feeling Spirit's going to change it. So this one, I definitely feel like Spirit might change. There might be something coming up in the news there. Yeah, we have Break the Curse webinar coming up for those of you who are interested. And then we have some information I did not share with you was the star system Sirius, that we are allowed to have the Sirius star system. This is what the matrix allows us to know. It's located. It's a binary star system, although mystics say it is more stars than that. It's the brightest star in the night sky. It is aligned. It consists of Sirius A, which is brightest, and then Sirius B, which is the faint white dwarf companion. It's approximately 25 times more luminous than the sun. And Sirius B is about Earth size in diameter. And they rotate each other for a period of 50 years. And it's only 8.6 light years from Earth, making it the 7th nearest star system to our solar system. Its proximity and intrinsic brightness are the primary reasons it appears so bright in the sky. Oh, and here's some history on the star system Sirius, known as solstice to the ancient Egyptians. It marked the beginning of the Nile floods and was crucial for their calendar system. And for the ancients, its rising is signaled as the dark days of summer. And the star's position in the sky has been used in Polynesian cultures. It's gradually moving closer to the solar system in the next 6,000 years. So yeah, and I have here my friend, my boy, my astral traveler. He says, "Mommy, it's time for you to get me my food. Can you say hi? This is little Jem." He hates cameras. He will not look at a camera. Can you say hi? Yeah. Okay, I'll get you some food. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad you came here. I appreciate your information. Your discussion here was amazing. I always learn a lot from you all. I send you all the best. I hope to see you Sunday, but if not, go in peace, go in love, and know we are powerful and we are manifesting world peace. We, the light workers, are demanding world peace. We want Nasara and Jasara, and we want to have our councils of light on the earth. It is so. Until next time, I love you. Have a great night. Yes, he is beautiful. Thank you so much.